What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. Bye, singing dog. Bye, goal.
I pronounce you.
Bye, wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, hi, kids. It's Saturday afternoon, and I'm thinking it's snowing, it's not snowing. It's snowing, it's not snowing. I can't really tell, to be honest with you. I know that I ran outside and froze my ass off an hour ago in the cold, so I'm going to guess it's probably not going to get any nicer than this. So, hey, folks, isn't this a shock? We must be having a special guest if Cindy's doing a show on a Saturday, right? That's what I'm talking about. So I'm so excited. I'm a little behind schedule today, folks, so I don't want to keep our guests waiting too long. As you know, in case you haven't paid attention to my personal page or my show page, the Kristen Lynn Band is going to be on today very shortly. In fact, they're on hold, so I don't want to keep them on too long. Just want to make it a point to send off a couple quick notes here really super fast before I forget. Next week's show schedule, which I will probably post sometime tomorrow, we don't want to forget to remind folks, I'm going to be on the air Monday at noon. We're going to be having Alexandra. She has got a new voice, if you can believe this, a voice dating application called Speak to Me. Terribly excited to find out what that's all about, considering I'm newly single. It might help me. So that's number one. That is February 6th at noon Central Standard Time. Tuesday the 7th, I will be on with Lisa of Wigless Brace. And the Wigless Brace is basically, it's a new tool that's actually been designed for dogs that Lisa's put together. So, again, excited about that because we want to take care of our pets. It's 1 o'clock Central Standard Time on Tuesday. And then on Friday, Dr. Jeff Rappaport is going to be on at approximately 12 or 12:30. Hold on for one moment, please. Just 1 second. And yes, can you imagine a radio show personality actually having someone show up at her door at the moment she's on a show? Talk about embarrassing. Just to finish up real quickly, Dr. Jeff Rappaport, which is a chiropractic scientist and doctor, will be on at noon Central Standard Time on Friday. So without further ado, I don't want to keep Kristen waiting. Let's get her on the line and start chit-chatting. Hi, Kristen.
Hi.
Oh, were you just listening to my crazy madhouse life? Oh, my God. This is well, first of all, this is what happens when you plan on a Saturday. First of all, you never expect somebody to come at your house. And then they come at the exact moment that you're on the radio. So the guy has no idea. He's from some steak company, and he's like, can I talk to you? And I'm thinking, oh, my God, how can I even do this? It's not like you can put your show on hold. So, sorry, but I'm here.
No problem.
Like, hey, do you want to come on the show?
Oh, my God. It's like, well, he wasn't bad looking, but that's not the issue. The issue is I had better things to tend to. So I'm like, oh, my gosh, I can't keep these fine musicians waiting because this actually starts my day of musicians, to be honest with you. I'm talking to you guys. Then I have a night full of seeing all sorts of different musicians. So I'm very super excited. And I'm actually nervous. I've listened to your music. I've seen some of your pictures. You're like a whirlwind. You're like on fire, you guys. I mean, you're playing all over the place. Your sound is original. Your technique is original. I'm not lying either. I can't make this stuff up. And I'm sober right now, so we all believe me. So I want to kind of start off a little bit. Actually, I want to talk to as I understand it, just to make sure I have both Kristen and Stephen. Is anybody else with us, or is it just the two of us, three of us?
No, it's just the three of us. A couple of other bandmates couldn't make it today, so it's just the two of us.
That's a bummer. That's okay.
Yeah.
But you mean the three of us with Stephen? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start with Stephen because, first of all, you're a fiddle player, Stephen. So there's a couple questions I want to pick your brain about. But first of all, to those that are listening in, you might not know this, but Stephen just joined the band in December of 2016, if I'm not mistaken. So you haven't been with the band members very long. So can you talk to us a little bit about what was your major motivation, first off, for joining this band? And then second of all, tell me a little bit about where you gained most of your experience playing fiddle.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for asking. And thanks for having me on the show.
Anytime.
So I'm actually going to start with the second question and make my way to the first.
Sure.
I started playing violin when I was a little kid, when I was 4 years old, just because my mom was like, you should play an instrument. I was like, okay. So that happened. And my my parents were in this Latin American chorus, community chorus, and we go to this like folk music camp every year, and my parents are like total hippy dippy folkies, and that they were like, you can play music with us if you play an instrument, and they enrolled me in classical violin lessons, which had nothing to do with that. So I ended up like learning classical violin playing while having this like family background of folk music, the folk music world, and so that's just throughout elementary school, middle school, high school. That was sort of the thing. Like I was learning to play violin classically, and I was playing concertos and playing with youth orchestras. And
wow.
Meanwhile, I would still be going to these like folk music camps, and there was like these two sides to the equation.
Okay.
And then I went to like a classical music focused middle school where I guess it was really competitive there, and I got a little out of playing violin and more into writing music instead, and that continued through high school. I was, writing orchestral music and such, and I actually am now at UCLA as a music composition major, University of California, Los Angeles. And I've spent like these past 4 years scoring tons of student films and commercials and things like that. And recently I was feeling like, I love writing music for movies, but it's a lot of me sitting alone in my room at my computer,
Oh my!
And I really want to like.
That's creepy.
So sad.
No, it's
I know, right?
Great, I love it, but I guess I just wanted to be like collaborating with other musicians, and
sure.
I wanted to be performing too, and so I met Kristen randomly at a dinner party event in LA where she was pretending to be.
Well, it was a show. Well, it was a show. Actually, it was an interactive improv show that I'm also an actress, and that I was doing in Hollywood, called the Hollywood Premiere Party, and I was playing. It was like a fake premiere for a fake film, and I was the lead in the fake film. And so we had this big premiere party, and then when the audience is there, we interact with them and talk to them, and about the drama on set, and it's this big thing. And I was talking to Stephen in character, and I asked him what he did, and he said he played the fiddle and he was a musician.
I had no idea about all this context, by the way.
Yeah.
I had no idea that this was a fake. Like, my friend just told me, show up here. I was like, okay. And
he didn't know that I was actually acting or playing a character. And then I said, and I kind of dropped the act because I'm like, I'm looking for a violin player right now.
She said she had a twin sister.
Well, I was trying to get him to understand and stay in character and say, my twin sister has a band and is looking for a violin player. And he's like, wait, what? You have a twin sister? I was like, listen, kid. No, what I'm saying is it's me, and I don't have a twin sister. I'm looking for a violin player. Are you in or out?
Wow.
So kind of fortuitous, we think, the way we met, because I almost ended up not even doing the show.
Okay.
So we met in Hollywood, and then we got together and jammed, and we're like, this is a match, and I can't wait to bring you into the band, and here we are. So.
Nice. Very, very nice. And how has the experience been so far, Stephen? I mean, I can imagine it takes some integral work in terms of matching personalities and playing together. And has it taken you a little bit to get accustomed to things, or was it more of a smooth transition for you?
Oh, it was great. I don't think, it happened. It was funny. When we first started playing, when I first started playing with the band, I was playing and Kristen was like, it sounds good, Stephen. I think you can go even more. And I was like, okay. And I went like, a little heavier, and she was like, you can still go more. And even, my mom had heard us perform, and she had told me I could do more, and finally I just, like, went for it and brought out, like, a whole nother...
I realized that the key word for Stephen is, Stephen, get dirty. Get real dirty with it. And then he's like, all right, I'm getting down,
Oh, my gosh, look at that. How neat. Well, and what's cool... one of the coolest things about the band, folks, to those that are listening, because oftentimes people will be listening and they'll be like, who the hell is that band that they're interviewing? Just so you guys know, there's not only just a potpourri of different instruments that are being played in this band, but I can just tell by the look of you, I'm going to guess that you have a potpourri of personalities within the band too, which means I can see by the looks on your face. First of all, I can tell you this, folks. How cool is this? They celebrated victory for the band by doing what? Drinking mimosas. I'm like, damn, they didn't invite me. That is awesome. The band that drinks together, first of all, that's very important. I think it's extremely important that you're able to drink together. So that's really cool. Second of all,
Absolutely.
I've seen you play. I mean, not in physical person, but I've watched videos, et cetera, in preparation for doing this. I guess my question to the both of you, and either or can answer or both can answer, which is this. Tell me one thing, especially those that are listening in are oftentimes delving into a creative nature, meaning that they're looking to be a musician or an artist or an actor, et cetera. Tell us one of the things that you believe makes this band successful, meaning what one contribution does each one of you bring that makes it a bigger success in your mind?
Well, and we're looking to have more continued bigger success where we're heading now.
Sure.
And actually, it's interesting because we just kind of talked about this. You know, everyone's kind of got to have the idea that we're ready to go somewhere with the music, and as far and that we're ready to go at any time. That everybody is bringing something to the table and is excited about the music too. You know, I've just kind of opened things up a little bit more to collaborating. You know, Stephen said he had some song ideas, and after we get off the phone, we're going to go over some of those. And
nice.
I'm really open to everyone bringing their talents to the table, whatever that is. And as far as a band leader, I want to make space for these amazing, talented musicians to shine. You know, I think that everybody is so talented, and we all work really well together. And I always, you know, when they take their leads, and I'm just like beaming, I just want to always make sure there's space for the band as a whole. So, yeah, that's what I think. And Stephen, you think pretty much same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I just love, you know, with a lot of bands, it's sort of like there's the main person who's the singer-songwriter, and everyone else just kind of backs them up. And I think with Kristen, it's really more like, no, we're all involved in this. We're all putting in our leads. We're all putting in, you know, our part. It's not, you know, there's no spotlight in the band.
Gotcha. and isn't that so sweet? And I'm like, okay, so now I'm going to do some of those things that they tell you in radio you're not supposed to do, which is embarrass your guests. So we're just going to go right out there because, of course, whenever I talk about people coming on my show, I often pay attention to things. So I have to ask, is any band member dating each other, or any of you single, or are you all taken? Because you never know. People might be listening and thinking, I still want to date that girl or that guy right now. Because I'm not going to lie, you're pretty people. You're the typical LA pretty people. That's what I call it. They're the pretty people. I hate you. Just kidding.
We love you. You're a pretty person. We saw your pictures. Come on.
Oh, my God. Cut it out. It drives me nuts when people say, doesn't that drive you nuts when people are like that? Because they're like, oh, my God, you're so attractive. And all I'm thinking is, do you know what I look like right now? I have sweatpants on, and I'm in slippers in my kitchen right now. That's what I'm saying. That's literally what I'm doing. So,
so are we. Like, no.
Well, yeah, I get it. Yeah, okay. People, take a look at Kristen's picture. Okay, check out her demo reel. I've seen you sing. I've seen your demo reel. I've seen all sorts of pictures. So don't even pretend like you don't have what it's going on. So one of your bandmates, Stephen, are you dating her? Okay, we have to get to the bottom of this because now I have to know. So is anyone dating each other?
No, I made a rule recently in the last year to not date any band members.
Oh.
No more band members. I don't want to get into too much personal stuff from the past.
I gotcha.
But,
you had to make a rule for that.
Yeah, but there is. So,
but I've heard that before.
I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
And
you go, girl.
I see, and everybody else in the cast, in the band.
In the cast.
Everyone else, I think, is pretty much single and doing their own thing. I mean, I'm dating, and it's super interesting. But if they say they're a musician, I'm like, No.
Yeah, musicians are very scary. I tend to date a lot of musicians too, and that's a problem. I mean, I love my musicians. I'll promote them. I'll support them. They're adorable, but they're not easy to date. You guys are hard to date. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Well,
and I always end up interviewing the cute ones, and I'm like, damn it, if they just weren't so weird, right? I mean, am I wrong? Tell me that you guys aren't a little out there, right?
Well, you know, I think, you know, to date an artist in general.
Correct.
Well, and that's another thing. I think when I date a non-artist, it's like, oh wait, we're in two different boats here. Okay, what's it like over there? Oh my God,
Exactly.
I'm dating immortal. What's happening? You know. So.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that looks like. I know Stephen.
No, I understand.
Stephen is. You can tell her.
Yeah, no. I mean, my girlfriend is also a music composition major at UCLA. She plays trombone. And to be honest, like, I don't know. I know there's a lot of stigma against, you know, dating someone who you're professionally involved with. But, like, I kind of love it, to be honest. Like, we write songs together. We score films together. And I think,
so nice.
like, us dating only makes it better.
She's so cute. And you know what? I'm definitely going to bring her into the band at some point when we do, like, really big shows. She plays trombone and is really amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's truly nice.
Yeah, and your girlfriend plays trombone. That's awesome. Double feature.
So really good, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and then the other bandmates, they're all. I think my lead player, she's with somebody, and then Clayton, I don't know. Nobody knows. And then my drummer.
Nobody knows.
He's gonna, when he listens to this, he's gonna be like, "Are you kidding? They're talking about me," because he couldn't be here today. And then
right, and right. If you guys look at the band, like I'm looking at you right now, so obviously, of course, like to anybody that's listening in that's single, if you look at them, you'll see what I'm talking about. There isn't an ugly one of you in this band. I'm not lying about that. I'm not trying to kiss your butt. Like seriously, have you looked at you? Well, of course you do, but you know what I'm saying. I am a true believer in chemistry and connection. Everything that you need to know about a band or a person usually lies within the first 5 or 10 minutes, and you can look at them and you can get a good sense of who they are and what they do. And I'm not going to lie, I certainly would date one of your band members. We'll leave it at that. Moving along. That's what I was thinking last night. I'm like, I wonder if that guy is single. But we'll leave that one alone right now. Okay, so we're going to switch gears a little bit. And I want to talk about something that obviously we'll start with Kristen because I know your background, but of course, unfortunately, I don't know Stephen so much in terms of, I know that Kristen, you originally stemmed from Pennsylvania, and I know that you're in LA right now. Now, Stephen, are you originally from LA, or where are you from?
I'm from Berkeley, Northern California. Right next to San Francisco.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Since you're both Californians, I was just in California not so long ago, and I bring this up with musicians all the time because I'm a New York girl, and I know we'll address, because I know that, Lindsay, you were there not so long ago, and I'm moving there eventually. I think you're either New York or L.A. I'm not sure you can be both. I can't do L.A. I've tried. I've tried so hard, but I can't do it. So I'm like, okay, I'm a New York sort of girl, and that's fine. So my question to you is, I noticed during my time in L.A., and I'm more heavily connected with film, mind you, but in the music scene there, can you talk a little bit or address a little bit about, especially because I have a wider audience in both New York and L.A., tell the folks a little bit about, from a competition standpoint, as I understand it in New York, I know tons of musicians that are vying for the same gig and the same night in the same place. Talk a little bit how you deal with being more original, more unique, which will secure you ultimately more gigs there. Because I can imagine it must be fierce competition there.
It is. I mean, although it's interesting, even on an acting level and a music level, two different careers, but the same idea. I feel like when it comes to competition, I feel like there's enough to go around.
Okay.
I get excited about other artists and other bands that are amazing and inspiring, and I think that we need to continue to work together, inspire each other, and that for the bands that are good and they have something to offer, there's going to be bookings. Like we just booked a show up in Idlewild, California, and that was new for us. Idlewild's like the other mountain, not Big Bear, but the other mountain. And so it's like we had to buy games for Yeah, we had to buy chain for our tires to go up because it was snowing and beautiful, and we never used them, which was great. But we stayed at an Italian restaurant up there, and it was so lovely. It was called Pharaoh's. It was so lovely.
Okay.
The audience was amazing. We played for 3 hours, and they make homemade pasta like my nonna used to make. I mean, it was such a great experience. And then, we're looking to go up and play again at a couple different places and make a weekend out of it.
Nice.
It is a little different getting out of LA. Unfortunately, in LA, there are a lot of what we call pay-to-play gigs, and we're not interested in doing those. So we would rather play the gigs that take care of us, and the audience has a great time. There's good cocktails.
Sure.
And usually those venues that we do play that are great, the other bands that they have in there are awesome too, and they're really great. So we all kind of like circle within the same type of venues.
Nice.
And then to get bigger things, you have to get out of LA. You have to even go to Altadena. I mean, come on, which is like near Pasadena, but like.
Right.
The other thing is like LA, outside of these gigs, just LA is so much where the music industry is at now. Like,
right.
There's so much, even though the gigging situation sometimes can be like annoying, pay to play, that kind of stuff, there's just so much opportunity for getting huge here in LA that, the city really offers, I think.
We actually want to go on tour soon, and we're kind of planning a few little things. We are actually, I don't know if you were going to ask this at all, but I'll just tell you, we're working on a new album, and with the new band, and we are working on a bigger sound, bigger, grittier, sexier sound. And we're excited about that. When that is complete, so we're in like pre-production for that.
Right.
We really get it out there and maybe try a little tour. So
that
definitely
would be exciting.
Want to go to Italy.
Oh my God, you're so taking me to go. Oh my God, and you got to go to New York.
Trust
go to New York. By the end, yes. By the end of this interview, you're going to want to say the words, I'm definitely going to plan that tour for New York, but you'll find out at the end of the interview why. Because we don't want to like jump ahead of the gun here, do we? No, we always keep our surprises for last on this show, so we don't want to do that. But no, I had heard some sniffing around about a new album, because obviously we'll be talking about La La today, which is the debut album, of course, that we'll talk about. I want to ask you a question. Actually, Stephen, I should ask you this first, because to those of you that may not know, Lauren had an illustrious job at one point in her life. And you know what? We shared that same thing. You know why? Because I worked the Rennie Fair, too, at one time. And I'm proud of it. I'm not going to lie about that. If you look on my Facebook page, because we're Facebook friends now, you will see me in this lovely little, not wench-like, well, I guess you could call it a wench-like costume. And I was selling, like, these soaps that were like lights or something like that. It was one of these products, and I can't even remember what it was anymore. And I was like, oh my God, when I was researching you, I'm like, she was a washing well wench. I'm like, oh my God, she was a wench too. I'm like, oh my God, we're wenches. This is awesome. So Stephen, have you done the Rennie Fair too? Now that we're talking about this, like we did the Rennie Fair. Did you do the Rennie Fair, Stephen?
The Renaissance Fair? No, I went up to NorCal. I did the Dickens Fair. But I've never done the Renaissance.
Yeah,
it's so much fun, and actually, it is like acting.
Only on my bucket list,
well, it's like acting, right, Kristen? I mean, I think you do have to have some kind of clever sort of gimmick scheme, some sort of play acting to do well at that, wouldn't you think?
Oh yeah, I mean it's super fun. I mean, I loved the time that I was on the road, because that's how this whole music thing started for me. I was jamming with some amazing musicians that are, a lot of performers on the road are just amazing performers all the way around. So we'd have little jam sessions, and Peter Suarez, actually, who's on that album, on Lala, he's not in the band, unfortunately, because he lives in Florida. And he does the circuit too, but he he's the one who kind of pulled me into the recording studio and said, "You got to record these songs." And
nice.
I am so grateful to him, and he's such an incredible player. He played all the leads on the album for La La. So, yeah, I miss Peter, but, you know, we'll just have to keep him in the loop whenever we get down to Florida.
Sure.
You know, if we ever get down there, but
eventually. But no, the running fair is like totally fun. It totally is. I'm gonna say that. Now you got two people, folks, that are on the radio right now telling you this. I think you should do it even for just 1 year. I told my daughter that too. I'm like, even for just 1 year, you meet the coolest people. Some of the coolest people are Renaissance Fair people. I won't lie about that. They get dressed up, they get excited. The energy is so much fun. And I only did it in Wisconsin here, so I didn't get to go anywhere else. But I thought I'd like to try New York one day. I would certainly like to try it maybe one more time. It's just fun. You get to be something that you're not. You know what I mean? Which I think is awesome. So there you go, Stephen. Do that Renaissance Fair thing. Make her get a gig at a Renaissance Fair.
It's definitely going to happen now. That's
awesome.
And actually, this is a crazy connection to the fair. So Sid, my lead player now out here in LA, when we first met, we were like, we have so many friends in common. And I found out that her boyfriend does a show on the circuit. And so she came to my show in Fort Lauderdale, like, you know, years before I even met her, and saw me perform with my comedy partner. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, so, that is wild. Oh, my God. Look at that. See? So there we go.
Yeah, and then Clayton, my bass player, he also has done the circuit as well, and that's where I met him. I met him on the road. So,
gosh, look at that. See, it's such a small world. It's like 6 degrees of separation. That's what they talk about all the time. I'm like, you know, it's so cool to be able to go off and have an experience and keep some of these people with you as you take your journey. I am so blessed by the number of people I still know. And I've only been in radio for years. I've been writing far longer than radio. And I'm like, oh, my God, some of the coolest parts about coming on this show is not only you, well, that's your choice once you leave the show, but most people choose to stay to get to know me. And once they do, we work together. I've had musicians do film with me. I mean, it's amazing. I've gone and drank with musicians. Well, we shouldn't say that on the air, but still, it's nice to make that connection. I know. You know, right? It's my show. I could probably say that. We all know I drink wine, ding, 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 within the hour if I don't already. Well, it is Saturday.
So do I.
We could all have a drink, right? Like, we could actually have a drink right now, but you have to practice. So I'm like, that's probably a little harder. I want to talk, since you keep talking about La La, so let's get to that because I'm excited. I'm going to, during the course of this interview, we're playing 2-year songs. La La is one of them. So this is a perfect time to talk about La La, of course. The debut album, of course, folks, if you're listening, is called La La. It's dedicated to your mother, Laura, who, as I understand it, is not with us anymore. I also understand that she used to be a Cancer, which I'm a Cancer too, which means she must have been amazing. So if you would, 2-fold question, talk to us a little bit about the song La La, and then talk to me a little bit about some of the most important things that your mother has left with you that have really just touched your heart. Obviously, moms all do that, but I mean, just something that she left with you that resonates within the song.
Oh, you're going to break my heart over here.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. You know, you got to keep it real.
Yeah, it's my mom is with me every single day. We were very, very close, and she was like my best friend. And I remember being one of those kids that would say, oh, I could never imagine if I lost my mom. And then she ended up getting breast cancer, and she fought a good fight, but she just had the kind that didn't go into remission, and she passed away in 2004. And she was very young. She was 53. What she taught me, she always taught us to be strong, to be really, really strong, and to never forget who we are. That was like the biggest thing. And it's interesting that her instilling that strength in us since we were kids, and then ended up her passing away. It's almost like maybe she was preparing us this whole time.
Sure.
But yeah. Sorry, I'm feeling a little emotional.
No, that's okay. I wanted you to, and the only reason that I mentioned the segue to it is just because it's a beautiful, the fact of the matter is it's a beautiful piece, obviously. And so one of the coolest parts about it is that connection with your mom. But more importantly, I don't know if this is your opinion, and Stephen, maybe you can chime in on this. To me, this is one of my favorite songs, literally, that I've heard of yours. I don't know why. I want to say it has a lot to do with the sound. Just the way your voice sounds different on this song than it did, let's say, for instance, on some of the other songs I've listened to. And I have listened to 4 or 5 other ones. So for me, I just was able to pick out the ones I liked in particular. So maybe, Stephen, what do you like about this song?
I mean, I think just going on the same train of what we're talking about, and I know it's getting a little emotional, but I think it's just when an artist is just real, like, you know, that can be really difficult. That can actually be incredibly difficult, more than any technical thing is to play or whatever. Just being able to be like, this is something in my life, and this is something that I've gone through, that I'm dealing with. This is my response to it. You know, something that personal, like, that's hard to just get up in front of an audience and share that with strangers. You know, and I think that's what makes it so powerful. It's like it's just completely real. It's complete truth. There's no, there's no barrier there. So that's what I love about it.
Right, and I listened to it and I thought the same thing. I'm like, I don't even know this woman. I've never talked to her before. I've never met her before. But this much I can tell you. And folks, you'll be hearing the song now. You'll tell me yourself at some point. You're singing to her. Obviously, I don't know if you're aware of that or if you meant to do that, but it's very clear to me that you're singing to her. And it's very clear to me, just in the course of just watching you and the little that I have, I'm very certain she must be delighted. You seem like an absolutely beautiful soul, and I'm sure she had something to do with that. So how lovely are you to write a song for this? But I'm gonna stop talking about it before I'm sure you're gonna start to do you know what. So we're gonna play the song, folks. So this is La La, the first of the 2.
Looking in the mirror, I knew it would be true, that someday I'd be just like you. Your beauty and love surpassed it all. I've known that since I was 3 feet tall. And I know someday I'll see you again, when I'm skipping right through heaven's den. But until that day, I'll just close my eyes and see you right there by my side. They called you La La, La La, La La, La, but to me, you always be my mama. They called you La La, La La, La La, La, but to me, you always be my mama. Sometimes it feels like yesterday when you were here and everything was okay. I believe your time had just come to join that angel army already had begun. And I know someday I'll see you again, when I'm skipping right through heaven's den. But until that day, I just close my eyes and see you right there by my side. They call you La La, La La, La La, La, but to me, you always be my mama. They called you La La, La La, La La, La, but to me, you always be my mama. like through heaven's den. But until that day, I'll just close my eyes and see you right there by my side. They called you la la, la 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 la, but to me, always been my mama. They called you la la, la 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 la, but to me, always been my mama. But to me, you always been my mama.
Now do you totally see why I love that song? Oh my God, I just love that song. It's absolutely amazing. So thank you for sharing that with us. That's awesome. That's also the name of the album itself, correct? Or is it just a single? It was a little confusing. Okay, so it is the album. Okay. All right. Now, so now I have a question for you because obviously, of course, that is one of the many things that you do, obviously, is singing. And also, as you can hear, folks, if I didn't tell you, she also plays an instrument. So I want to talk a little bit about that. This instrument that you play is very out of the norm. I won't lie to you. Oftentimes, most of the women that I interview usually play the violin or a fiddle. So this is a little out of the ordinary. So can you talk a little bit about, meaning, were you right from the bat, okay, I'm going to pick up this banjo thing and I'm going to do this and this is my thing, or did you kind of gravitate towards it? Because I know that you had musical parents. So talk to me a little bit about the birth of you integrating into this instrument.
The banjolele. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that's right.
I was doing a show in Michigan, and I went into this little folk store called Elderly Music, which is amazing. If you ever get to Michigan and you like instruments, it's an amazing little store. And I saw this little banjolele sitting on the wall. And this one was like over 100 years old. It still had the writing on the frets. Like
oh my
some
God.
kids wrote the fret numbers in pencil. And it was, I just loved this thing. I just fell in love with it. And the sound had this old-timey sound. And it was so unique that I thought I want to just start writing music on it because I play piano and also guitar. But the banjolele was so unique. And I started, writing a lot of songs on there. And I actually wrote La La when I was driving across the country back to L.A. in Nebraska, and I was driving with my knees. And that's where that song came from. So I don't mean to say that driving with your knees and playing an instrument is a good idea. I'm not doing that. Okay, good. Yeah. Well, because I was driving with my knees, and then I was just playing it. Don't think about it too much. Okay. Anyway, but
let's not keep thinking that you're a terrible role model just because you advocated driving without hands or anything. Just kidding. Yeah, no, are you kidding me? That's an awesome thing in a way.
Yeah. So that's how that song was born. But then I just recently got a new banjolele. It's a gold tone banjolele. It's extremely nice. It is not 100 years old.
Of course not. I got it. Now, tell me a little bit about, because obviously, Stephen, you play clearly a different instrument. So 2 things here. Stephen, do you play any other instruments? And then second of all, is the banjolele something that's more or less difficult, let's say, than some other instruments? Because honestly, it looks like it could be extremely challenging, just by the guess of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, Kristen really plays the banjolele more. I mean, I've tried messing around on it. That's more her instrument. I play the mandolin, which is, it's tuned actually the exact same way a violin is tuned. So it's just learning how to pick instead of bow. And then, I play piano. At UCLA, they have a huge ethnomusicology department, so I've gotten to learn how to play, just crazy weird instruments from around the world, like the Chinese erhu,
oh my God.
or the sitar, or just gamelan. I won't go
oh my
too much
God,
into it.
This is wild.
But it's been a cool experience. I've gotten to really learn a lot. Though with Kristen's band, fiddle is just, it fits it so well, and it's cool because I actually don't really get all that many chances to play violin anymore, and this is really getting me like back on it and playing fiddle more again. So I really enjoy it.
Sure. Awesome. Okay, so now, Kristen, how challenging is it on that?
Well, I was going to say, the banjolele, let me explain it a little bit. It's like if a banjo and a ukulele ran away into the woods together. That's how I like to describe it. So it's like a merge between them, you know, getting sassy. The banjolele is tuned like a ukulele, though. So it's played the same way a ukulele would be played. It just has more of a banjo sound.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, speaking of sound, this has been dying. I've been dying to ask this question for 2 days now. I don't know if you noticed this, but in talking to you in conversation, then go back and listen to yourself sing. I want to know where you get that sound from, because you don't sound the same. Do you know that?
Maybe.
I mean, do you notice that? No, seriously. Go back and listen. Like, go back and listen to some of your songs, because I've listened to like 5 or 6 of them, and I'm like, what? There's just something in the course of your singing that's there that's absent when you're just speaking. I'm telling you, go listen to yourself.
No, I hear that too.
You do?
Like,
really?
See? Like, no. I totally know what you're talking about. It's like
thank you very much. I'm not crazy. Thank you.
But I think it's kind of awesome. Like, I actually really like it. I do too. And I think it's really unique, actually, what you bring to your singing. That.
Thanks.
It is. It is. And we're not crazy. I'm telling you right now, girl, you need to listen to yourself, because it's neat, because it's not dissimilar to, let's say, like a Sean Bean, you know, the actor Sean Bean, or like a Chris Hemsworth, you know, being able to change their dialect so much to be able to adapt to what they do. So I think that's incredible, and it makes for a very different sound. I'm telling you, I have not heard your sound out of anyone. I mean, you do not resonate anyone that I can think of besides yourself, which in a way for me, I believe that makes you even more unique. I'm not going to lie about that, honestly. Definitely.
Thank you.
So I want
to
talk. Oh, of course. And because we like to keep it real on here, I feel like I want to bring this up, and not because it's depressing, but because I'm really big on shameless promotion. I'm sure you don't know that about me, but if anytime I can pimp anyone on my show, I do it. I read something. Well, I'm not going to lie about it. I mean, it's my show. I can talk about anybody I want. I was on your Facebook page because, folks, and we'll go through the rundown in a bit about all the different ways to find you, but you have a Facebook page for your band, and one of the things you mentioned was you have had some beautiful photography shots done by Vagrant Visions Photography. And as I understand it, your friend Melissa, a year ago, had a campaign. So I thought to myself, let's talk a bit about the photography, and then, of course, I'm hoping that this conversation finds us that she was successful with her alternative treatment.
She's still going through it right now. She decided she moved to New Orleans, where she could have a sacred space, and she just wanted to be surrounded by art and work on art, and she's trying to get healthy. I actually just asked her recently for this new album, like, so would you be able to get on a plane and come out here? And because
my gosh,
so amazing and talented, and I even thought about, well, maybe if she can't, if she's still too sick to be able to do that, but she has ovarian cancer, by the way, so that maybe I would come to New Orleans. So we're talking about that, but keeping her in our thoughts and prayers. And
well, we definitely are, and I'm asking all of my show people to do the exact same thing. Is she still able for photography? Because we can certainly throw a shout out there, because I see she's got a Facebook page and a website.
Yeah, that would be great. She's at Vagrant Visions Photography, and she does sell. Her photography is amazing. She's so talented, and she shot our whole album and our CD release party and everything. But she has really cool underwater shots and beautiful artistic shots from all over the country, and she sells them as prints. So you could go to her website to check them out.
Awesomeness. We like to do that. And don't forget, sending thoughts, sending prayers, folks. There's 58,000 of you that listen. That's 58,000 prayers she didn't have before. So let's make sure that we make that happen. And thank you for the update, by the way, because I was curious about that. Now, Stephen, before I ask Kristen about this, I want to know if you have, because one of the things that I know that Kristen does that she has a passion for is acting, of course, and I know a whole lot about acting since I'm in that circuit. So besides playing an instrument, Stephen, do you have other creative talents, whether it be writing, acting, play acting, teaching, etc.? Tell us a little bit about the other things there.
Not really. I mean,
he's like, no, dude.
I've been pretty musically focused.
Okay.
I mean, you know, I like to write songs too, which means that there's a writing element to that, like writing poetry, writing poems, writing words. Sure. Yeah, and like, you know, I love going to the beach. I'm talented at that.
What's your talent? I went to the beach today. Don't really know what I did, but I went there. Just kidding. Well, I'm glad that that's a talent of sorts. I don't really know what you do there, but okay. Do you play on the beach? That would be a talent. Like, play on the beach just by a fire?
I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, keep working on that.
You know, I do a lot of different things within music, but yeah, I really do like. I should be a more well-rounded person.
Oh, stop! You are well-rounded already. I didn't know, because sometimes people, it seems like in LA, you almost are like born with the acting bug. You know what I'm saying? I know that one of you is not originally from there, but you know what I'm saying? It's the thing to do. Like if you're going to play music, usually I play music and I do this, or I play music and I act. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I actually would love to act. The only thing is I have zero training with it, and I feel like it would just be something I wouldn't be very good at. But I'm not entirely.
Come to New York, they'll hire you.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It is fun. It is totally fun. I mean, I just literally, see now, if you would have been on Facebook 2 days ago, you could have been in New York City, you would have been paid to be on a set as an extra this weekend. They were looking for a whole bunch of them. That happens a lot. See, that's a great way I tell people that. I'm like, be an extra. You know why? You just have to stand around, you get paid for it, and they give you crap food. I'm like, how awesome is that, right? Seriously.
That's great. I'm always down for free money and free food. So.
Yeah. Isn't that right? I know, right? It's like, that's awesome. Now, Kristen, we have to talk about a bunch of different things. First of all, as I understand it, we have to start from the beginning and go backwards, which is, did you get the doctor role or not? Because I see we just canceled our doctor's appointment. And then she's like, ironic, going to audition to be a doctor. So I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
It's a callback. I'm not sure yet. I'll find out next week. But it's for a commercial, so, you know, those are all, you never know. But it was fun. And it was ironic that I had a doctor's appointment that day and had to cancel it.
Yeah, she was shocked. I read that and I was laughing. I'm like, oh, my God, how funny is that, right? Okay, now, I love independent film. I'm a huge supporter of independent film. I actually review independent film. So I was like, how ironic is it that your PR person, Emily, came to me and she's like, she did indie film. I'm like, I love her. Didn't even have to say anything else. I'm like, I love it right off the top. So we want to talk about how to get rid of a body and still be friends. What up with that? Okay, seriously? Did you listen to that title? How to get rid of a body and still be friends. I have friends like that already, dear, but that's real life. Just kind of kidding. Anyway.
Of you.
Yeah. So we want to talk about that movie, and we also want to talk about how your music got integrated into the film as well.
Oh, yeah, great. We shot it in upstate New York in Canandaigua last May. Super fun, great, amazing cast. A lot of good names on it, like Kristen Lynn Band, who's known for so many television shows, and you know, she was like Janie and Janie Got a Gun. Anyway, you can IMDb her. She's amazing. Yep. And then Nicole Birch, she's a stand-up comedian here in LA. And then me, we're the three female leads. And and then there's Michael Dempsey. He's a big actor around here. The director, Russell Gannon, is amazing. Him and Nevada Gray. She was also the writer. They wrote the script, and we shot up in upstate New York. Super fun for a month.
Cool.
Yeah, in a haunted town, I will say. I don't know what you believe, but everyone's like, "Are you guys shooting that haunted or that scary film up there?" You know, it makes sense. Everything's so haunted. That house is so haunted. We're like, no, it's a comedy, but thanks because you're staying at the house. Great. So we drank a lot of wine and sleep, but we
like that.
Yeah, and it's a great story. It's super fun. It's like a Weekend at Bernie's meets Bridesmaids type quirky comedy, and so much fun. We drug around a dead body, Angelo Bua, who is actually hilarious in real life, and we drug him around for 30 days.
I can't help it. I'm like, oh my God. She's so nonchalant. We just carried a dead body around for like 3 days.
Yeah, when he was supposed to be dead in so many scenes, we would mess with him, and it was just,
sure.
a little film family.
How funny is that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so it was an amazing experience. It premiered here, and now it's out to distributors, and we will be able to see it soon.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Don't know
Did you do the festival with that, or no?
No, it's just out to distributors, and it's going to be available to the public. So we just have to wait to find out where it's going to be available.
I understand. That was going to be my next question in case people got intrigued by listening to you talk about it. Hey, do we have means to be able to watch it? But it sounds like it's going to be a little bit, you think?
You never know with these things. You just kind of do them, and then it's out of your hands. We're hoping for the best. It's a great little film, and it was so much fun. And then my music, Russell Gannon used 2 of my songs in the film. La La is one of them.
Right.
And that's the featured song through the film. So, yeah, it's super exciting. I'm so grateful for all of it.
I'm just excited to watch it, to be honest with you, because if I like it, I might just say, hey, I want to do a review of that movie. That's kind of how it ends up happening lately. That's one of the coolest parts of my job is that's like if I like a movie, I'm like, can I just watch it? And then they send me a copy of it, and I could literally stay home every day and watch my friends' movies. I'm like, how cool of a job is that? And that's just one of the side ventures. So I'm like, that's awesome. So congratulations on that. I like that. I like indie sort of anything. Now, are you going to continue doing more indie films? The future, do you foresee? Because I don't know how you have time. I'm not lying. Because I don't know how you're doing what you're doing now, but okay.
Tuttle Black takes one to know one. I see you over there with, I don't know how you have any time.
Did you see my bio? Yeah, it's kind of scary.
I did. I was like,
there's a lot on there. I know. And then I added more. I was like, I didn't have enough. So now I've added, that's why I asked you about the circuit, because I founded my own film festival. So I'm having a film festival this year, too. So that's on the docket, too. So that's like a huge thing. That is like a big, that's the big push right now, besides doing the radio, of course. So, yeah, it is tough. And indie film, as I'm sure you know this, once you get working on it, and you're going to have to get Stephen involved in the next one because he's going to have to get off his ass and, do something about this because it's so much fun. They're addicting. They're a bit addicting, and they allow you to have more range, and it's so exciting. But I wanted to ask you about this because you actually were an actor and a writer of the TV series Second City this week. So that's a little different when you're acting and doing the writing on that. So tell me what brought that venture about and how that happened. And also, can we find that somewhere where we can watch it? Because I'd like to see it if I could.
I don't think you can watch it now.
Great.
I know. It was really amazing. It was a main stage live production that was also being filmed, and the director Ron West he's an amazing director of comedy in this town, and George Kaliotis, he was one of the producers, and he came up with the idea. But basically, it was run very much like Saturday Night Live, where we would Monday have a pitch meeting. Our scripts are due Wednesday. Friday we would get the actual script for the show, and then we'd have 24 hours to learn it, and then Saturday morning we'd check, and Saturday night we'd go up, and we'd have a celebrity in the show with us every week. So it was very current event based, and it was super fun. It was a little bit like a machine, because every week it was like, okay, what's going on in current events, and I have to get a script and just push it out and get it done, and so it was amazing, an amazing experience, and really fun when everyone goes up on their lines, and it's comedy. So, yeah, it was a great little show. It's a great comedy community out here. So,
and I imagine so. I've heard that time and time again, as a matter of fact. Now, the other three, I don't want to forget to mention these three. I'm afraid to ask, are these available? But I know that you had done just the three of us, Broken in the PA. And those were all short films, as I understand it. Do we have access to any of those either? Because those look like they were a little bit older, so I thought, maybe there would be a possibility of being able to check that out.
No, I think those are all. Some of them went into
You're killing me.
And then, but you can check out Nosferatu. That, I think, is on YouTube, and that was an internet webisode. Super fun.
Cool.
I play a vampire slayer in that. yeah, you can check out that one. I think that's up there on the IMDb, and that's up there in the online world. So, yeah.
Wow.
And hopefully,
look at that.
The movie will come out soon.
I gotcha. No, I understand. Now that we've covered the acting side of things, so now, Stephen, back to you, because, of course, the other thing we want to cover is I also know that Kristen, and I can envision you doing this as well. Have you done any form of formalized or informal teaching, Stephen, in terms of music?
Oh, teaching, yeah. So actually at UCLA, I've been with this program called Music Outreach, UCLA Music Outreach, and for the past 3 years, I've been teaching violin at an elementary school in Compton, California.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's a very, very underfunded area, and we're basically the only music program they have. And so, we're given a few broken down instruments and the kids, and just told to teach them something, and then it's up to us to just do what we want. So I've been, I really took advantage of being able to make my own curriculum and teaching them not just how to play violin, but also singing and improvisation and how to make beats with Pro Tools. And at the end of the year, they get to do a big performance at UCLA in the main hall there. And every year it's just a total amazing experience to see these kids get to play for their school and on a big stage and eat pizza afterwards.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. And that actually was a segue to what I was going to ask you, and both of you can answer, one of you can answer. Well, my boys, both, my younger kids, my 10-year-old and my 12-year-old. Now, my 10-year-old does the violin. My 12-year-old is fine with the clarinet because he's really rocking it. But my 10-year-old is a lot like me, which is that we don't do anything the right way, which is I wait until 15 minutes before I have to do something and then just give myself an ultra heart attack and then do it, and then I get the best performance. With my son, I know he likes it, but it's like committing highway robbery to get him to actually play it. He plays well on the violin, but it's getting him to do it. I'm like, could you practice that? Oh, we don't need to practice. No, son, you do. No, we don't need to practice. No, son, you do. So it's like that thing, and so I'm just like, okay, well, since you're here, besides giving him money or an Xbox One, what do I get? Or is this just routine for 10? Because I'm like, he was insistent, and I get my ass up at 6:30 to take him to lessons. So the boy's going to play that thing. So the question is, how do I entice it? I mean, it's like you almost have to entice him. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, he tells me he wants to play, but he doesn't play.
I know what you're talking about, and I'm going to go on I'm going to go on a little mini rant right here, just in terms of my
here he goes. Great.
Here we go. Settle in. Get a glass.
The classical music world, which is just that there's so much. You learn, you practice scales for however long, and then you learn how to play all this music by composers who have been dead for centuries in styles that they would have appreciated, so they don't roll in their grave. And it just, I don't know, the whole thing kind of annoys me now. I think I'm glad. I guess I'm glad I had all the classical training, but I feel like a lot of people quit their instruments or don't keep up just because they're being taught under this method where you're supposed to play something. You look at the notes on a page, you play it the way it's supposed to be played, and you practice that over and over again. You practice, nobody wants to do that. And I just don't think that's, for me at least, that's just not where the musicality comes from, It comes from...
Sure.
There's such a value, to me, there's just such a value to, listening to the musicians around you and not necessarily playing notes on a page, but playing what you think would sound good. Improvisation is so much more than just making up music. It means listening to everyone around you and seeing how you fit in. It means having fun, too, which I think is just so important. So, I guess I'm sympathizing with your children just about how hard it is to spend an hour or two every day, practicing music rep you've been given or scales. I never wanted to do that when I was a kid either.
I didn't do it either.
And that's just it. I'm not even, I'm 15 minutes, because I'm not the traditional mom, because I'm you know what, I get bored in 10. So I'm I don't even know if I can do this, I mean, writing is the exception. I'm I write all day, but, I'm not pushing him to be a rocket scientist in an hour here. I'm just pick it up for 15 minutes. And it's Jesus. I just feel like if I have to push you this hard, what's wrong with this picture? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, like, I do, every time I play violin, I start with 10 to 15 minutes of just playing scales before I play anything. Because that's just, like, gets my fingers ready. It's like, and then after that, like, you know, I love to just have fun with it and go wild. And
right.
I don't know, maybe.
I think also when you know, 15, 20 minutes a day, if you want to get good at anything, you have to put the time in.
Yeah.
You have to. And
right. I know.
I deal with that a lot with students that I teach, and actually just yesterday there's a student, she's been learning piano and guitar for 3 years, and she's very good, and she just doesn't really want it. She's a little grumpy pants is what she is, and her mom is basically like paying her to do the lessons, and I was like, what? That never would have happened when I was a kid. Are you kidding? I didn't have a choice. I mean, both of my parents were musicians, but it's like, no, this is what you're going to do. And even if I was like, I would do it. And I'm so grateful for that, you know, because you don't, and even if you're a soccer player or whatever it is you're trying to get at, you have to practice.
No, I agree.
And I think
I agree. I know.
You can reap the rewards of getting to improvise and play and just like let go and but if you can't get the basics down, you're not ever going to get to that place, you know. So
no, I agree. No, I do. I totally agree. Which reminds me, we want to say that Kristen teaches not just music. You also teach. You've taught cooking. You've taught theater. You've taught acting. You've taught songwriting. And what's cool is that you have your requirements starting at age 3 and going up, which I think is really super neat. What I'd like you to do, if you could, is just let the folks know if they have a child or if they have individuals that are in your area, let's say, friends that have kids, etc., and they want to come and have you teach them, where do they go to get information? I know the website is one place, but I wasn't sure if you had like a specified other place where people sign up for classes, stuff like that.
No, they could just go to the website and contact me.
Okay.
I teach at a bunch of different schools in LA, so my schedule gets pretty filled up.
That's what I thought.
I also Skype lessons. So if there's somebody across the country, I actually had an adult student in Florida for a little while who was learning ukulele, and we Skyped lessons, which was super fun. And I send him things through email. Yeah, so there is time for everything. There's a way to make anything happen now.
I still love the way she said that. Okay, now before we play the second song, the last thing I want to ask, which, can you believe it, Kristen had one other talent, one other thing she used to do. So before I talk about this, we have to revert to Stephen, because I know he's going to say he's done this. I'm sure you've done stunt work before, Stephen, right?
I've done what work? Sorry, I missed that.
Stunt work. Because Kristen has done stunt work before. I'm sure you've done that.
Listen, I'm a professional Sorry, I forgot to mention I'm also a professional daredevil. I just jumped off a cliff the other day.
You're freaking awesome. That's awesome. I hear sarcasm.
No,
I'm thinking.
Very much not. That would be cool.
You know what? Stephen and I can relate. I totally can relate, because I'm like, I think I need to call Kristen and say, can you give me lessons acting? I tried to act once, and they got me drunk. I was in a bar, and I was playing a hooch, you know, like one of these loose women, and they literally, the scene kept, you know, they kept filling me with tequila shots. I wasn't aware, but that shot kept getting filled, and then they kept shooting the same thing over and over again. Well, then I was a bubbling, slutty-looking idiot. So I'm like, I'm never doing this again. So I totally get it. I mean, I can write and do radio, but I'm like a Stephen here. I'm like, I guess we can't be a Kristen, because I've not done the stunt thing either. How amazing is that, though? That's super cool, though, that you've done stunt work, because that's kind of dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's funny.
I'm not being a smart ass, seriously.
No, it is. And actually, I don't think I'd last at this, you know, where I am in my life now. So I'm glad I didn't pursue it any more than I did.
Sure.
The ceiling is pretty low there for when you're done doing stunt work, if you want to keep your body intact. But, that feels like a million years ago. That was such a different lifetime. It was so fun. You know, I got into it because I did martial arts, and I still do martial arts, actually. I love martial arts. And I ended up going out to stunt school and then worked with a stunt company in Florida, and it was so much fun. I'm so glad I did it. I got set on fire. Once.
Listen to her. They just set me on fire, but it was okay. I'm all right with it. Oh my God, you're too funny.
When I was
yeah, but yeah. So yeah, he's like, yeah, whatever. But no, I don't really practice any of that now. I mean,
no, I definitely imagine. My gosh. Well, you should look up one of my friends, actually, and it's ironic because I'm doing her book review right now. She's going to be part of my calendar. There's a woman who's a friend of mine by the name of Georgia Durante. She's been on my show, and she actually is a professional stunt person. That's one of the things besides being a mob wife and the whole nine, a real mafia wife, etc. Very interesting background. Wow. You remind me of her in a very younger version, and, well, you're not blonde, but you do. You remind me of that. Now, before we talk about your second song, and I play that, this is the most important interview question of this whole thing because we're almost done. You cannot get this wrong. This is huge. I ask everyone who comes. I've been asking this question for a year. And every time I ask it, the answer is no. I don't think you should say no. It won't be pretty if you do. You know why? Because I'm tired of people saying no. Okay, so this is the running joke on my show. There are five people in this world that I would probably give half my body to interview, besides yourselves, of course. I know when I ask you this question, you're going to say, I totally have his cell phone number, and we're going to connect you. Because I've been trying to get an interview with this actor for almost 18 months, and I'm about ready to quit. So now this is the thing on my show. I'm like, I'm just going to start asking everyone who comes on for his cell phone number. So I'm going to ask you very calmly, and I know one of you is going to have a cell phone number because he lives in California. So we're going to do this.
Uh-oh.
So there's this actor, very well-known actor by the name of Michael Madsen. Love him. Reservoir Dogs, Donnie Brasco, Free Willy, Selma Louise. And I know you guys are going to say, well, of course we live here. We can hook you up. Don't do it. Damn it.
You set on fire. And
You don't know him, do you? Don't have a cell phone number either, do you?
No, but wanting to know him is always the thing.
I really encourage you to keep going on this quest.
Yeah, you have to.
Dude, it's been 18 months. I mean, he's not Buddha. I'm like, what kills me is I'm interviewing Apollo Creed, Carl Weathers. I think he's kind of up there, right? I'm like, I got him on my own. I'm like, I can get Carl Weathers. I can't get Michael Madsen. I know people that know him. I'm like, how can I not? I'm like, he's never going to know I exist. I don't know why I keep trying. I'm like, you know what? I should just quit. But that's the running joke on the show. Well, he lives in, I want to say,
drive over there.
Well, see, here's what happens. See, we start throwing out that word like stalker if you start like going by his house and stuff, so I don't want anyone to think I'm crazy. So, he lives in Malibu, but the thing is, he's done like 200-some films in his career. He's always filming. So I've aligned myself. There's a very good possibility this will happen. There's a friend of mine that he and I have become good friends, and he happened to cast Mr. Madsen in the movie. And so our hope is that we can kind of align the two of us. Also, for the film festival, I've reached out to his publicist, and I want to do a tribute at my film festival to him. So I'm like, you know what, if he doesn't show up for that, we're done. I'm like, we have to break up in my head. Because, Wendy Williams always says, oh, yeah, in my head we're best friends. Well, he's like my best friend in my head. So it's kind of like the same thing. But I'm not psychotic yet. Like, I don't have pictures and I don't do all that stuff. So I'm like, I keep hoping that somebody's going to say it. So it's kind of like the running joke. Like, I don't really expect people to have his number, but wouldn't I just shit if they did? Like, oh, my God, they do. It's okay. I'm never going to meet him.
Address. Like,
ever. No. Yeah, right. I'll just give you his address because I have that.
Yeah, but you said Malibu. You know how far that is? That is way too much traffic. I mean, if it was
I'm not really sure, where that even is. Yeah. I don't even know where that is because I'm like, I don't do the California thing. I keep hoping we'll meet each other in New York because he works with a lot of people that I know, or like he'll have a premiere of a movie. So I'm like, eventually, my problem is after 18 months, I'm not patient anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, now I'm over it, so we just need to have this happen now. You know what I'm saying?
Why don't you pull like a When Harry Met Sally and see if he'll meet you at the Empire State Building? Might as well go for it, right?
Again, I say creeper because he's married, and I'm pretty sure his wife would kick my ass. But just saying, throwing that out there, that she might not appreciate me wanting to meet her husband on the Empire State Building. Might be a little
no
creepy.
bueno. Yeah.
Yeah, like really creepy. And then they'll be like, okay. I have bad news. For some strange reason, I downloaded both of your songs, and I can't get by your site to download it. It just won't happen. I've been trying for like 10 minutes, and it's not working, which sucks. You know what that means? That means I have to play it on another show, which sucks even more. Or you have to consent to come back at some point, assuming you even like this interview.
Yeah, oh my God, it was so fun. It was super
Do you think
fun.
so? I'm a little strange.
Yeah.
I do it on purpose, though. I'm purposely strange, and this is without booze. I mean, soon there'll be booze, but I mean, like without booze. I try to do it in immaculately. I try not to. Well, I'm sure you guys have done interviews before where it's the same sort of, where do you derive from? When did you start playing music? I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person where people listen and they're like, somebody called me Barbara Walters the other day. They're like, you're the new Barbara Walters. And I almost wanted to cry. I'm like, how sweet is that? That's so sweet.
Aww.
There's a few business things that we have to talk about. According to your schedule, it looks like the next gig you have coming up is March 8th from 8 to 9 at the Republic of Pie, which you've been to before, and it would be in North Hollywood on Magnolia Boulevard. Would that be correct, or am I missing a gig?
No, that's right. That's March 18th, actually. Did I not?
Oh, my God. Why do I have the 8th down? Well, maybe you could play both days. Like, could you just play the 8th and the 18th, maybe, you think?
Yeah, we'll just show up. Yep. That sounds good.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now, there's a couple things that we need to talk about, which is, first of all, I want to let you know, as well as the listening audience and anybody that might be listening that's a fan or a follower of yours. Within about 2 hours of this show archiving, it'll be a show being live, I should say, it will be archived. What that means, of course, is that anybody can go back and listen to the show anytime that they want all year round. So your voice will be recorded along with mine and you turning me down for Michael Madsen. Yay! So that's absolutely wonderful. So that's, I know you'll never hear the end of it. Aren't you lucky? So that's number one. Second of all, the surprise that I wanted to bring up, and this is why I had mentioned this to you folks. I always try to make the show memorable from a couple different things, from the way that I ask things to the opportunities that I might be able to give you. So what I wanted to throw out there was my film festival, even though it is not in LA, because I can't do LA. It scares me. I'm a New York girl. So I was wondering if your tour should happen to bring you, and maybe if you could align it, say, around June 23rd or 24th or 25th, I would be greatly honored if you would do one of two things. I could give you the option to be part of the festival itself because, first of all, I have a panel of musicians that are going to speak to people that are attending the festival about creating music for film. So you could be part of the panel. And second of all, I have a cluster of friends of mine who are all musicians that are going to play both at the festival and for the closing night ceremony. Actually, I'm thinking of having an open jam for the closing night ceremony where 2 hours of consecutive different playing will go on. And so, because I'm broke as a jokester, right, for a living, and I'm indie, I ain't got no money. I'm not a Michael Madsen, so I can't fly you there. But if you could align yourself there, I am giving you an open invitation because I would be honored if you would.
Oh,
thank you
so
so much, Ray.
My God.
Yeah,
okay. Well, you don't have to commit now. It's not like a marriage proposal, but I'm just throwing it out there so that this way you guys have that out there. I want to read off a bunch of different ways where people can find you, and when I get done, please let me know if I forgot anything. The website is KristenLynnMusic.com. She has, that is Kristen Lynn, has an IMDb profile. Her Instagram, or their Instagram, I should say, is Kristen Lynn Music. They are on Reverb Nation, Spotify, CD Baby, iTunes, and YouTube. Their Twitter handle is at Chris Lynn Music, and that's K-R-I-S, and then Lynn and Music. The Facebook is at Kristen Lynn Music, and of course, Kristen Lynn has a personal Facebook page. Stephen, can you be found on Facebook, or are there other places where people can find you or the classes you do, etc.?
Yeah, well, I have a Facebook, so if you want to friend request me, like,
he wants to friend! Yay! Okay, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead. Outside of that, I have a website, StephenSpies.com. It's my name.com. Cool. Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N, Spies, S-P-I-E-S. Yes. You'll see that it is primarily focused on my film and commercial music that I write. For music and just for movies and TV and stuff, but it also has, my SoundCloud on there. If you go to the music tab, which has a mix of film soundtracks I've written and other songs I've written, and more to come soon.
Yeah.
That is absolutely awesome. Now, there's only one other thing that I have left to do that I do with every show, which you may not know about if you haven't listened to my show before, which is I get to tell you what I think of you. I do this because it's the only part of my show that's it. Usually I will research everyone myself. I will write the interview myself. But the last part about this, and it tends to either go one way or the other because people don't expect it. I do this so that people get an introspective view, not just from a professional standpoint, but my personal observations as well. So before I do that, the last thing I want to do is I do not want to forget to mention Emily Taffel at Mugsy PR. If it wasn't for Emily, all three of us would not be united. So, Emily, I cannot thank you enough for this wonderful interview. She spoke very highly of you. Emily seems like a very talented individual who I'm just getting connected with. So, Emily, hopefully you'll like this interview. Hopefully I did your clients justice. If not, you can yell at me off the air. And if I did wonderfully, you can keep sending me more because these guys were phenomenal. So, yes, and for those of you who might be interested, www.mugsypr.com. Emily Taffel is her name, so please be sure to take a look at her. So these are my impressions of Kristen and Stephen before I get to go out and drink. On a date, I might add. I'm a little nervous, so we'll see. You're like my warm-up for this, so I can't wait. Yay! So these are my impressions. Yay! Here we go. One of the coolest things that I like about the two people that are on the other end of this phone is that I knew that they were younger, which means that they would be full of spunk, sass, and energy, and they did not fail to deliver when they came on my radio show. The first thing that I noticed when I started to research them is, as I mentioned, the connection and the connectivity and the overall sense of passion and purpose that they hold in their eyes. You can tell from the very first time that I watched their video to the next time that I listened to one of her songs to the moment that I looked at her demo reel. The person that holds the strings here in terms of the band leader herself is a combination of electricity, energy, and enthusiasm. You combine those three along with the beauty that she possesses from the outside to the inside, and you have yourself a recipe for magic. She took herself and aligned herself with other band members that have that same energy, that have that same connection, and that same whim and desire to bring music to an audience that excites them, that makes them dance, that makes them laugh, makes them cry, makes them want to sing with them. You guys possess a sense of excitement and zeal that I haven't seen here in Milwaukee for a while. I love my Milwaukee musicians. I'm very proud of them. But you play very different instruments with a very different sound and a very different feel. And I like your energy. And I love the fact that you came on and you were very real, very positive, and also very emotional, which I love. I am praying with all that I have that you will say yes and you'll find your way to come and meet me, or I get off my stubborn ass and go to L.A., which may very well never happen because you guys are not nice to me there. But one of the coolest parts about today was not only did I take away from this listening to great music and talking to good people, but I do hope to hopefully maintain them as good friends and be able to chat with you again anytime you have anything you want to promote. That's what I think of you folks.
Oh,
thank you.
So wonderful.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Gosh. You're so sweet. Listen to you guys. You're telling me
that.
I know. I mean, you can just keep going if you want. We won't stop you.
Well, if I keep going, I'll never be able to go out and drink, thanks, or do anything else tonight. I have no kids tonight, so I'm like, and it's snowing, so I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to go out. I'll have some cocktails. I'm actually going to go see 3 different bands tonight, and one of my girlfriends has a birthday party tonight. So I'm like, well, it was nice to have this time during the afternoon because then it got me relaxed and comfortable, and now I can go and have fun and listen to different kinds of music that are not yours. You know, it's like one of those things.
Aww.
And, hey, thanks for not hooking me up with Michael Madsen. Thanks a lot.
I mean, it's an open door. We don't know. We never know. I could bump into him in a Starbucks.
Oh, my God, right? Would that be, like, awesome? Oh, my gosh, that's awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, yes, so definitely, please stay in contact. Please consider my offer for the festival. I would be very honored if you guys would have an opportunity to participate in any form. I greatly appreciate it. And I mean it. The door is always open. Certainly come back anytime you'd like.
Aw. Well, thank you. We hope you can.
You're quite welcome. And and the coolest part about the Indie Festival, if you haven't done it before, is not only for both of you, it's great connections in the music industry. You'll meet fellow musicians. But if you want to continue doing acting in the indie world, you have producers, directors, people all over the place that are looking for people all the time. So it would be a great opportunity. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, like I said, stay in touch and let me know. And thank you guys for taking your time on a Saturday. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you for taking your time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a good day tonight.
I'm trying. Well, you'll see. You're my Facebook friend, so watch the wall. Usually if there's an indicative sign of something, you'll see the call words that are like, awesome, fabulous, or otherwise it'll just be a shit. That's literally what happens, or I'll be like, shit, period. That's when you know things aren't great. So we'll have to see. So we're hoping for a thumbs up, crossing fingers.
Yeah.
Now, you can get the hell off my radio show. Just kidding. I had such a great time, you guys. Really, I mean it. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Anytime, my dear. Have a great weekend, you guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, sounds good. Bye.
All right, dear. Talk about fabulous, right? Oh, my God. That was like the best hour and 20 minutes I've ever had. Amazing. Again, the name is Kristen Lynn Band. Obviously, today we had Kristen Lynn and Stephen Spies with us. To reiterate, Stephen is on Facebook. It's Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N, Spies, S-P-I-E-S, and the website, stephenspies.com. You can find their music on Spotify, ReverbNation, CD Baby, iTunes, and YouTube. They also have a Facebook page, which is at Kristen Lynn Music, and the website, KristenLynnMusic.com. Their Twitter handle is at, and that's K-R-I-S, Lynn Music. And, of course, obviously, Kristen Lynn has her personal page, which is K-R-I-S-T-E-N-L-Y-N-N. Don't want to forget, everybody, that we will be back on the air, and that would be on Monday, February 6th at noon Central Standard Time. One more time, thanks again, Emily Taffel of Mugsy PR, and that's mugsypr.com to anyone that might be needing anything. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. If you go out in the snow tonight, please be careful. If you happen to be out and about after 10, please come and see me and Lisa at Jackrabbit Slim's. Thanks so much again to Kristen and Stephen for the interview. And I'm off to go enjoy my afternoon. You enjoy your weekend and enjoy your Sunday tomorrow. Look for the pictures of my Super Bowl party. Take care.
What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. By singing dog. By goal.
I pronounce you.
By wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. By singing dog. By goal.
I pronounce you.
By wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.